Welcome to the Yoked Podcast. I'm your host, Travis Hall, alongside my wife and co-host, Ingrid.
On this podcast, we talk about all things real estate, entrepreneurship, business, faith, family, you name it, we talk about it, and how we do it all as an equally yoked husband and wife team.
We are glad you're here. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this week's episode. What's up? And thanks for joining this week's episode of the Yoked Podcast. I think this is episode number 29.
We're going to have our dirty 30 next week.
Which is remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
We're excited
We are.
for this week. This week is our son Andrew's birthday.
Yes, he's turning 7.
Turning 7. For those of you that know and follow, we're going to have fun. He wants to do all kinds of things.
Like typical Anders fashion, he has not narrowed down anything. So I think right now I'm making lemon cookies, Rice Krispie treats,
And a boon
some
cake, a
form
dog
of
cake.
Yes. Like, I appreciate that you think I can bake.
Right. We're going to go see How to Train Your Dragon.
The North Idaho State Fair is in town.
Yep. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yes. And then we have visitors next week again.
It's going good.
Excited.
We are super busy with a lot of things. Today we just bought a house.
And
Another
that
flip.
was very timely for what we're going to talk about today. And also an article that just came out that I thought was so interesting.
Yeah. So today's episode's fun. It's talking about an article that came out from New Western. And they are a nationwide wholesaler. They wholesale, I think, more than anybody else in the entire country. They get a lot of good deals and they sell a lot of properties. So they had this article, and it was pretty interesting.
Well, and part of the reason I love the article is because it is nationwide.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So they're collecting data from everywhere. They had like their major markets listed and drop downs. You can, we'll link the article in our show notes, but you could go and, look specifically at your market, Philadelphia, Denver, like wherever you were, but it is nationwide data.
Yeah. And you sent it and you're like, hey, this could be a really fun conversation. Just because it's really interesting. And so it is. I mean, what better way to start off a flip that we closed today in Arvada, and let's talk about flips nationwide and stewardship and how it ties into, at least for us, our lens on flipping and what we think.
Yeah, obviously New Western, a wholesaling company, would put out an article talking specifically about why flippers are so great.
Right, for sure. I mean, you got to know your source.
So I appreciate that. But also, that is not the majority of the opinion of flippers. And so we know that, like we've absorbed a lot of that in our, almost 20 years doing this. And so I just thought it was really fun to like share some actual facts and data behind the stewardship of flipping.
Right, exactly.
So
let's dive in.
Okay, the key stat, which was like their big picture takeaway that the article was written on.
And this was a big aha, like, wow.
Oh, totally. Even for me, excuse me, was local investors bought 30,852 renovated homes back to market versus 18,973 new builds. So basically, we, as flippers, almost doubled the inventory that we brought to the market than new build companies
like the
did.
Lennar and KB and all those big players.
Yeah.
That was the highlight, is that flippers were outpacing inventory almost 2-1 from new build construction.
Yeah. And so builders have a lot
which is a good
job.
Good job, flippers.
Good job, flippers.
Way to bring quality products to the market.
Yeah. Not now if you're like flipping it into a turd.
Right. If you are a cheapy flipper and you don't put out good stuff, I'm not talking to you.
But I do think, obviously a new build community is going to have a lot more red tape. They have zoning.
Like why?
Timelines.
That's part of the conversation is why an article, like why does that matter? Like, and why, good or bad, and part of it is regulation and zoning, and there's a lot that goes into new build.
100%. You're redeveloping all the infrastructure and everything. So obviously that is going to have a lot of time constraints. You make up for that on the back end when you've got 5 houses that all need plumbing and you just got a huge crew. But I think one of the key takeaways of this, like that I tie it into, is, when legislation is working its way through the government and you're incentivizing, builders and this and that, I'm like, well, you also should be incentivizing flippers. We're bringing almost double inventory back to the market than new build companies like Lennar. You think Lennar needs like a big tax break? Like, come on,
I bet they're
man.
getting one somehow.
Yeah, they are. So I thought that was interesting. And I think despite even some of the red tape that they all go through, it still is,
Yeah.
good to
Well,
think
and
about.
you and I were talking about affordability as well. And it's
Yes.
tricky in places like Denver and in some of these higher priced markets.
Yeah. Seattle,
Yeah.
San Francisco.
New build, I mean, like sometimes new builds are cheaper
Mhm.
than, quote unquote used homes. And they can be in that market depending on the price point.
Sure.
And as a general thought, usually refurbished home is more
Mhm.
affordable than a straight new build. I would imagine nationwide, and again, their
Yeah.
sets are nationwide. They're looking at new build versus renovated.
Yeah.
And, oftentimes a renovated home is initially maybe less desirable. It needs a lot of work and a lot of fix
Sure.
up. It's in a more entry, median price point area. And
Mhm.
so then you fix it up, bring it to market. And more often than not, it is creating affordable housing,
Yeah.
or more affordable than just new build.
Yeah, I think it was like 35 to 85% more affordable than a new build.
Correct.
And part of that is just because they're paying those prices like that they've paced out for when completion dates are.
Right. Well, and it's interesting with new build, like we're not against new build by any
No,
means.
not
They
at
can be a
all.
great solution for somebody if they're trying to find a place, especially right now with financing incentives that new build can offer. But one unique thing with new build is they set their own comps.
Yeah.
And so it is tricky, like in the fair market and the regular home buyer market, comps are set by your neighbors
Mhm.
and where they sell. And then if you have a seller that, like is holding firm, I'm not dropping my price. This is the price. And you have another seller that's like, I have to move. I'm moving here, and they drop the price. That just changed the neighborhood price value, right?
For sure.
And so it is, and so like it kind of falls in line. It's the sales approach where in new builds it's the same, but if you own all the houses, you set the price for all the houses.
Well, and then back up even further, somebody buying a home that's not in a new build community is going and getting a loan. That lender is hiring a third party appraiser,
Mhm.
right? New build communities, they do all their own in-house lending.
For sure.
And so they're just paying a lender to like appraise that. I mean, honestly, I'm like, how do you even appraise the very first house? Like, it's, is it cheating? I don't know.
It's playing the game a different way,
It
but
is. It's playing it a different
but
way.
the point is that it's the same game, but it's not quite the same rules.
Yeah.
And so that's what creates the different levels of affordability on on how things work. And let's talk about, like, a lot of people, the general thought is, oh, it's new build, so it's going to be maintenance free or hassle free, and
Oh,
you don't have to worry about all this.
no.
Which, as a general idea, it's like buying a new car. Like, should it be flawless? Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
brand new.
Is it?
But is it? Do you get recalls like 5 times a year?
Is that why they tell you to put a warranty on it?
Like, things still happen, and you can ask any new build buyer.
Yeah.
They all have, there's a reason why at like the 10-11 month mark, you do your walkthrough with the inspector, your own paid for inspector. At least you should, because you
Yep.
want to come through and like check everything and then have that new build company come and fix it. So there's still a lot of things that happen. And so I think the idea is, on a good quality flip, it can be the same, where
Yeah.
it's like oftentimes it can come with a home warranty and it's like taken care of,
Totally. And
and
I think
it's in a
with
cheaper price point. And so there's a lot of incentives to going that route.
well, and they're in these neighborhoods and communities that, often get maybe overlooked a little bit. And when you're talking about like teachers, nurses, firefighters, anybody with odd hour jobs, like they oftentimes want to live in the community in which they're working. And so you're providing housing that's not like, 20, 30 minutes outside of kind of the city of where they live. They're able to find more affordable homes
Yeah,
that are
locally.
decent, yeah, in a local neighborhood.
And what's cool with those, like if they, to that demographic, oftentimes there are finance programs that
Yeah.
are targeted to them if they buy in their neighborhood.
And lender incentives for a lot of neighborhoods that we've flipped in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think last year, 3 different flips we did, all 3 different areas of Denver had lender incentives put on them. So some amount of a tax credit
Yeah,
that
like a
has been
financial benefit.
awarded. Yeah. That they can put directly towards closing costs or rate buy down concession.
Well, what's interesting is none of those incentives were in a new build community.
Oh, no. No.
Because
No.
they can't
Because you're
compete.
not
No,
revitalizing those
you're not.
areas.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this next fact, which was institutions. So when we say institutions, you're talking about big time companies.
Mhm.
Thinking of
Opendoor,
Opendoor. So
BlackRock.
Opendoor is a flipping company.
Yeah, they are.
To make no mistakes. Institutions only were 1.93% of the purchases, while flips from local small investors like us were made up 93% of the market share.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm curious what the other delta is. There's a
Right?
couple percent is missing. And so I'm like, who are all those?
Yeah.
You know, like maybe those are
I
just
don't
like,
know. Groups,
maybe.
nonprofits, maybe it's like affordable. And we won't get into some of the intricacies of who
But still,
is
go back to that.
specifically.
93%
Yes.
of flips from local small investors like you and me,
Yeah.
and people that are single-handedly revitalizing some of these neighborhoods.
And then they broke it down and they highlighted like more women are flipping, and more millennials and Gen Z are starting to do this. And so I want to camp on this a little bit because to me, this is a big part of why like flipping is great, which
Mhm.
is not flipping. It does not matter how old you are, your gender, your education level. You can go flip a house if you don't have a GED.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
mean, it
matter.
truly doesn't matter. And it is a ton of people start flipping, like just moonlighting, right? On the side as a flipper. Our friends, John and Jess, like this is how they supplement their retirement income from being pastors. Like it provides such an incredible income for the actual flipper. But what I love too is that it is providing jobs. Every single person that you employ to go paint the house, put in windows, do carpet, everything like that.
So real.
Often very small business owners. We're not typically going to, Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff like that, but they're also their neighbors. You could like we've flipped multiple times in our zip code. And I think that's so cool because we know the neighborhood, we know what the neighborhood wants and needs.
Yeah. You have a
And
vested interest.
yeah, and not these huge.
Not just financial. Like
Yeah.
generally, if you're flipping in your neighborhood, you like your neighborhood and
Yes.
you want to see it improved and made better or maintained.
Yeah. And institutions, they don't care.
No, they don't.
They
It's
don't
just
care at all.
they don't even understand the house. It's just it's on a spreadsheet. It's on their
Yeah.
books where, like local small investors like us, like it matters.
Yeah. And, we're coming out of COVID when a lot of people had to make big job changes, had to make physical moves with their families. Like flipping can be just such a great avenue for like kind of anybody. Like anybody can flip. It's still hard, but
Yeah, I mean, this isn't an episode saying that it's all roses and amazing, but you are right. Like houses don't care who buys them.
They sure don't.
If it's a good opportunity and you have the ability and the wherewithal to, make it nice, like anybody can do it. And these stats prove that.
Yeah, I just love seeing that. Yeah, women and younger generations really entering kind of the investing game in this arena.
Right.
Oh,
Hey, look at me.
cool.
I don't have a college degree.
Oh, that's right.
Russian. Hey, 4 years of college. Don't get me wrong.
Chasing a dream.
Just
baby.
no piece of paper. I got you. I got my marriage license.
I got my MRS.
I love it. Well, let's talk about the neighborhood too.
Okay.
Flipping in general, there is a lot, not necessarily. It's not like being a car salesman. I know because I was one. Like there's a negative connotation period with that. I mean, you use it like I just did for a reason. And flipping, like as a flipper, there is some negative connotation in the real estate space, especially like some people get negative, like, oh, it's a cheap flip, it's like, and there are those. Some people put out as fast as they can, bare bones. It's the same thing every time. Is it right or wrong? I'm not here to say that. That's not how we do it. I'm not judging that. Like it still is revitalizing and making the place better. Some people hide stuff and do things unethically. If you're doing it unethically, that's different.
Yeah.
But as a general statement, like there is good that comes out of flips. Not just, this isn't money. This is like good for the neighborhood. And a quick story, like I think about a property that we did that we renovated on Raleigh. Great little property. The next door neighbor was an older lady.
Yes.
And then the gal across the street.
2 neighbors across the street, right?
Yeah. Old. Just an older.
Their names rhymed.
I can't remember either.
Like Sherry and Mary.
It was like your classic, like
Elena.
Like Elena.
Yeah.
Or, like it was, I can't remember. It was a classic like grandmother name. But they were lovely ladies. For my open house, like I got to know them well from seeing them a lot. And like they were my eyes, our eyes on that property. They'd call us, be like, hey, is somebody here? It's 11 o'clock at night. We had a lot of issues with this property. We had cops called 4 times.
We should
guns
do
drawn.
Like a best of the best
I know, we should.
Flip stories, because there was a gal showering out of the sink at the property one time and making sure her undergarments were getting dried on the air conditioner. Like we've got some stories.
Yes. But that was this one.
Just do that.
But those guys loved us because they knew the previous neighbor, and it was a sad story. His partner died, and then like he like
grandkids.
Was just a nice guy being taken advantage of, and he rented it out, and they just drugs, alcohol, like they kicked him out of his own property. And it was just really sad. And so the couple, like, I mean, the 2 neighbors, they just really appreciated that we were coming in and like bringing it back to where it was at one point. Because they've been there for 30 years. And then we were there one day toward the end, and a guy drove by in his truck, and he stopped me, and I was talking to him, and he realized that I was the owner. And this is what we were listing it for sale.
And he wanted to shake your hand.
He did. And he was like, I've lived in this neighborhood 40 years. I've driven by this house. He's like, thank you for fixing and cleaning up my neighborhood.
I know.
And it just like hit me. Like, did we make a ton of money on that? No, we did not. It was
like 3,000.
We learned a lot on that one. We didn't lose any money, but we didn't make anything either. But we did make a difference, and it just felt good. Like, you can do good, even though it's not money driven.
Yeah, it's not money driven. I think that's the kicker, is like, here's an older woman and she didn't feel safe with her next door neighbors. I mean, and they're not all like that. Sometimes, you come across a property for a different reason. But one of the other stats it talked about, which I thought was interesting, was that over 70% of revitalizations begin off market, not in the MLS. And so there is a reason a seller doesn't want to go to the MLS to sell their property. We're brokers as well, so we have seen it all. And certainly there are instances where it's not in the seller's best financial interest to take their property to the MLS. And so selling it off market to a flipper, a wholesaler, an investor, is oftentimes not just the best option for the seller, the actual person who is selling their home, but it's a really, really good option because the market hasn't seen it before. You're going to fix it up before anybody knows about it, and then you're still going to bring it on the market. Oftentimes it's like, oh, you're siphoning inventory. No, it's the same inventory. It's just better. We're bringing a better product to the market.
Well, and some people, especially realtors, and like, I love you guys. Again, we are those people, but we are outliers.
We're the worst.
We're the unicorn agents. Let's be honest. No, we are just investors first. That's the difference. Investing and realtoring is just different mindset. It shouldn't be. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Realtors would say like, well, it's always better to be on the market. And when it comes to math, yes, you will likely get more if you're on market because your exposure, you're casting a bigger net. But it's not always about money. Almost every flip that we bought, how much stuff have we inherited? And it's because we told the seller they're stressed, they're trying to move, they're doing this.
Somebody died,
something happened. They're like, can we just leave it all? Can we just take what we want? And they sell at the price that they agree to. Oftentimes it's their price. Like the one I walked yesterday, and he said, here is my price that I want. I'm like, okay, well, this might work. But he did ask me, he's like, can I leave all my stuff? I'm like, yeah, you can. Yeah. Like, I get it. You got a bunch of crap in here, and that's a lot of work. And like, it's stressful.
And guess what? If we are throwing stuff out and we find your glass eyeball a month from now, we will mail it to you. Because I have done that.
Yeah. We bought a house and she was blind. And we found a straight up, like, she said it was expensive.
Super expensive.
Hand-painted glass eyeball. It was amazing. I was so...
And I 100% mailed it to her.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But, I mean, there are lots of pros. And that's why people will often do it. It's because there's a lot of those untangible, like, they don't have to have people come through. And, like, there's oftentimes a lot of shame. And you don't want to wish that on people, but they don't want people coming through and, like, judging where they're at. And sometimes these are just houses that you would never know.
No.
The people that you live next door to, they're quiet and they don't come out very much.
In your nice development right outside the city with an HOA. It's them. It's them.
Truly.
And two bathrooms aren't functioning and they just stopped using them and now there's mold. And I mean, absolutely. And I mean, talking a little bit about just like I love flipping. I mean, that's part of it. Is I just absolutely love it. I love the design part. Like you tell me to go
You're good at it.
Pick out paint and I'm like, let's go.
You tell me to pick out paint. I'm like, okay, what are the last paint colors that we chose? I'm going to do those. Because Ingrid helped me pick those out. So.
This idea of like restoration, right? Like restoring things for good. You talk about the brokenness in people, but there's also brokenness in the world that extends beyond people. There is broken communities, there's broken systems, there's broken governments, there's broken everything. And so for me and like us, I know that we view flipping as partially stewardship, and that's an important part of it. And I think this article and just in general right now in the market, like it agrees. The market agrees with that.
That was deep. I liked it.
I went so deep.
But I mean, you are
It's
right,
true.
though. It is true. And
it's so true. Brings me pride.
If we only flipped for income, first of all, we probably wouldn't be doing it anymore.
I'm like, we'd be poor, very poor.
But it feels good. It for you especially, and me.
Creative outlet.
It is an absolute creative outlet.
Yeah.
And it is doing good. It's like for us, people know like we are full-fledged believers in Jesus, right? And for us, this is a big piece that these are gifts that he's given us. And so we do view it as an act of stewardship.
You're using your gifts and talent.
Yeah, exactly. You are.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
Anyways.
Well,
I think that's all of our facts.
That was our facts, but it is an interesting takeaway. Just what this is for this year. Again,
this was up through July, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out in August, like just recently. So I think their stats were data for the first half of the year through July.
Sure.
But it was just pretty insightful of where the market's going, what the world's doing, when it comes to housing and flips. And, you hear a lot of like inventory as far as we need to catch up inventory. It's below, and they're talking about new builds.
I know when they say that, and the incentives follow that. All of the incentives and the stuff from the government, it all follows, okay, builders, here's how we can incentivize you on tariffs, on the price of lumber. It's right.
Like, we've said for a while, like, I think there's multiple, big names. I know Grant Cardone was saying this for a while, and I mean, his polarizing, depending on which way you like him or not. But some of his thoughts, like, that he said, like I agree with some of them as far as, and for years when we were in an inventory crisis the last couple of years, when inventory was so low, it was like incentivize investors, property owners to
offload their inventory,
like offload some of their inventory.
Yeah.
Like tell them like, hey, you can sell tax-free without doing a 1031.
Yeah.
Like just incentivize them. There will be a surplus of inventory come to the market.
Well, not only that,
it's a different conversation. But
it is a different conversation. We've said this before, but it's worth saying again. All these boomers that cannot have an influx of cash, because if they do, they lose benefits that they have waited 67 years for and paid into that long for. Right. They have one influx of cash, those benefits disappear overnight. They're not selling their home, they're renting it out. Like right. You want to put inventory back in the market, incentivize them.
So real.
And those are your local investors.
Those are your flips.
Yeah. Those are your flips. Those people have lived there forever. It's like 7-year-old shag carpet.
And they are in great shape, but they just need to be updated a little bit. Cleaned up, fixed up.
A lot of it.
Maintain a lot of it.
I love it.
Well, I think that was a fun conversation.
I love it, yes. The real estate investor today. Oh, book club.
Book club
is next week. So we announced this, I think, last week or week before. Every month, we're going to start reading a book if you want to follow along and chime in for some of the discussion. So next week, we are discussing The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. The link is in the show notes.
Okay.
If you need it, it is a great book. You should read it.
Yeah, or at least give it like a quick download, like, condensed listen. And then join us for the conversation, because I think we're going to have some good takeaways for that.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Be fun.
All right. When it comes to flipping, babe, and inventory and all these fun things we talked about, what are you yoked to?
This is Yoked Podcast. I should know that this question's coming. I feel like I'm yoked to 2 things, and it comes to a flip, just in general.
Just a flip. Yeah.
A good deal.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good deal.
Okay. What's a good deal right now for you? What % of ARV is a good deal for you?
less than 65%.
Give the people what they want.
This is in Denver or up here. Up here is maybe a little different, but 65% of ARV. So the buy side max can be 65% of what it's worth at the end.
Okay.
After it's fixed up. That's what that means. And then I am yoked to being me. Like just being myself. Like I was having a conversation today with a good buddy and an investor and about different styles of wholesalers. Super pushy. Like he was telling about a guy that a listing agent that would bring his toothbrush to listing appointments, and he would sit down and say, I'm not leaving until this is executed. Like this is signed. I'm like, he was a total bulldog, but he did a ton of deals.
Also,
and I'm
don't put your dirty toothbrush on my table.
But I'm like, we were having this funny conversation about that is just not me. Like I want to like you and I want you to like me.
Yeah.
Like, this is a people business. This is not just transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm just going to be me. I'm not going to be this different person.
I love it.
What about you?
Mine's a little bit more bulldoggy.
But you are not.
Honestly, just lessons of this last flip that we close on today to start renovating would be like, you got to be yoked to your number and you got to be willing to walk away.
For sure.
Even if you're off by $5,000. And that's what happened in this one. Like me and the wholesaler are going back and forth and we're off by $5,000. And at the end of the day, I just said, it's $5,000. Sorry. We're not your buyer. She comes back the next day. She found another $5,000 somewhere. But like you do have to be willing to walk away. You have to be yoked to your buy number and be firm and don't talk yourself into it. That's it.
That was a good approach. So you rocked that one.
I know.
That was an actual like negotiation tactic that you pulled on that gal.
Okay, shout out to Cody Sanchez. I just listened to a negotiating podcast that she interviewed with somebody else, and I was like, "This is so good. I'm going to use stuff on you and the kids too."
I use stuff on you all the time. All right. Well, I think that was a good episode. It was fun.
Yes.
Look forward to next week. And as always, we'd love your comments. We love your DMs, any questions, but you can find us on the social medias, all of them at The Travis Hall and at The Ingrid Hall.
Yep.
Or partnerwithnorth.com. That's our website. You can find us there. Any questions? Otherwise, have a great week and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Yoked Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along as we drop a new episode each week.